Hi. Hi. Hello. Hi. I'm back again. Yeah, thank you for coming. Let me see. What do I have today? Oh, there she is. Uh-oh. Hmm. Hmm. Okie dokie. Hi. Hello. Getting ready here. Getting ready. Almost. Ah. Oh, I see. Let me see. Ta-ta. Mm-hmm. Oh, a stapler. Where did that come from? Hi. Howdy. Uh-oh. Oh, accidentally thanking it. Oh, dear. Ah. Oh. Okay, I think everything's okay. Like this. And I'm going to take this and blow my nose. Hi, everybody. Hello. There we go. Okay. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay, hi, Beverly. So my niece is still sick, so please pray for her. Yeah. So it's important that we pray for people that we love, especially in our family. Sometimes we forget to pray for people that are in our families. So we have to make sure we remember them. Okay. Trying to move this out of here. There we go. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hi. So we're getting ready. Okay. 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 Let me see. Hi, Colleen. How are you? People are coming just now. Mm-hmm. Okay. get rid of that. Hi, everybody. I'm just trying to get rid of some stuff here. Hi, Wilma. And so pray for my niece, Kristen, who's very sick. Well, she's really my great niece. I don't know how to say it. What happens when you have a niece and then she has a daughter and she's your, what do you call it? I don't know. Do we have anything in English? In Spanish, there's uh, bis, sobrina, etc., etc., etc. But I don't know in English. I mean, in Spanish, in English, what do we have when you have? Oh, my great niece. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Colleen. Yeah. That's what I say, my great niece. Yeah. But then people say, no, you can't say that. It's like your grandniece, or grandfather, or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, she's my great niece, and she's very ill. So please pray for her that she get well. And that's what we're all doing right now. And today we're celebrating. Well, today I look like I'm a little bit out of it because, well, I was like I'm out of it, but today more because we had this big party today, and because we're celebrating the feast of Our Lady, Help of Christians today, because tomorrow really begins the feast of the Ascension. It begins right at dusk. That's what the church follows the Jewish way of celebrating the day, because the day begins when the sun goes down. That's why the women were going crazy trying to anoint Jesus and say, we don't have time to finish this. Let's come back after the Sabbath, which would mean Sunday morning, because already when the sun came up, because already the day began on Friday night. As soon as the sun went down, it was Saturday. Okay. Neat, huh? Hi, Sister Rachel, you're going to torture again. Okay. Poor thing. Oh, why do I torture people? Hi, thank you. Welcome. And welcome, Otelia and Gamboa from LA, the Gamboa family. Um, Hi, Regina Badstad, one of our wonderful parishioners who did a great job on Father Ed's birthday. On Father Ed's birthday, we had like, jeez, we had like 60 cars going around the block. Thank you, Regina, or Gina for short. And they all had like signs and flowers and all kinds of decorations and balloons, and they were passing by, and Father Ed was so happy. He was 90 years old last week, and he was standing there like Pope Francis, like this with his arms out, and he had his vestments on. He had just finished mass, and so it was great. It was really a beautiful celebration for our. I'm living with two priests who are 90 and 92 years old. Father Ed, who was in Africa for 26 years, something like that. Amazing. After working here in the provinces, in the eastern province for years, he decided to be a missionary, and they accepted him because it's a vocation. You can't just go, hey, I'm going to go become a missionary. Although I did that for 3 weeks, no, for 5 weeks, I went to Sierra Leone right after they had their revolution. Remember the movie Blood Diamond with that guy DiCaprio? That's exactly what I went into. And at one point, we were attacked by, I'd say, about 1,000 soldiers, but they just wanted their pay. They hadn't been paid, so they came over a hill and they were coming right at us. And we were on the main road in Sierra Leone, in Freetown, their biggest city. And all of a sudden, uh, well, we were talking to this huge mob coming out with sticks and picks and also rifles, but they weren't going to shoot anybody. It was just that they were angry because they hadn't been paid, and it had already been like about a few months after the United Nations came in, and then everything was stopped more or less. And they saw that in our car we had a little sign that said, we're like GVs, whatever it was. It was government this and that. And so they just went, go ahead. And the next car, oh my God, you could just hear the bang, 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 breaking windows and everything. So I was saved. That was exciting. Um, well, anyway, Father Ed was there for 26 years, not in Sierra Leone. He was in the eastern part of Africa, Nairobi or something, I forget. So Yeah, a good man. I live with him. He's retired, although he's not really retired. He's still working. He's 90 years old. He's working, and he's on the payroll. It's amazing. And then I have Father L. Now he's 91, but he's rather fragile. You need to write a book about all your adventures. Yes, thank you, Colleen. And hi, Muddy. And the thing is, hi, John. The thing is that, ouch, excuse me. Um, the thing is that I'm living with them, and then I'm living with a 53-year-old Indian from India. Remember, there's no more Indians like from America. Those are Native Americans or First Nation. I like the way the Canadians call them First Nation. It's beautiful. Okay, and then there's me, Mexican American, 75-year-old, driving them all crazy. Other than that, we have a lot of fun here. And today we were celebrating, like I said, hi Luz, the feast of Our Lady Mary Help of Christians. And I explained to those who came early that hi Consortia, that the reason why we're celebrating it today and the feast is really on the 24th, which is a Sunday, is because once there's a Sunday and it's the Lord's Day, and in fact, this Sunday is the Ascension. So it's a super big feast that takes precedence over any other feast, including ours, except in Rome, because she's the patroness of our society, they allowed them to do it on Sunday. So that's not bad. So anyway, we did it today because tomorrow's like considered Sunday. That's why in the evening you can go to mass and it counts for Sunday, because it's the Jewish way of looking at those days. As soon as the sun goes down, it's the next day. Okay, that's why I told you the women were hurrying to anoint the body. They didn't have time. We'll come back on Sunday morning, which is now the next day. Now it's really Monday, and well, even at night, but they couldn't come at night that night on Monday night, which is really Sunday night for us. What a mess. So anyway, okay. Yesterday I explained to you what timing's all about in theater. The reason why I'm doing this at the beginning, just to kind of like let us relax a little bit, and then we get to the heavy stuff. But today we're going to take love again, what love really is, and what love is not. First, we took what love is not being boastful, not being show offy, having patience. Otherwise, we turn our homes, if we don't have patience, into battlefields. Horrible. So let's learn all this, okay? It's important for our lives. But right now, I'm going to teach you something about crying on stage, okay? Did any of you ever see the movie Good Will Hunting? Just put down yes. Just put down a Y if you saw it, okay? It's a story where Matt Damon portrays a genius, but he doesn't go to school. He just reads. He's an avid reader. That's really, God gave him the gift of understanding everything quickly, okay? So, and you know what he does? At one of the most famous universities in the United States, and this is supposedly a true story, I don't know, but it was written by Matt Damon and his buddy, I forget his name, another famous actor, and uh, and they both wrote it, and they got an Academy Award, and they deserved it. It was an excellent, and the choices of the casting of the actors. There's people that are called the casting director. He's the one that goes around looking for people that he thinks would do. Reads the script and goes around looking for people that'll fit. And oh yeah, Ben Affleck. That's right, Ben Affleck. Both of them, and they won the Academy Award. And I told you it's worth it. It was excellent. What a great job, and the movie was excellent. That was just wonderful. And this young man uh, is discovered. He's what he does is he mops the floors. He's a janitor at this very famous university, Ivy League, and the professor. What he does is that he's a math professor, high math, and what he every month or something he puts up. On the chalkboard outside the classes, okay, classrooms in the hallway, and he puts down writes out a formula, a very difficult one with unreal numbers. Well, anyway, I don't know anything about math. So extremely difficult. So all the guys go out there, copy it off the board, and then try to figure it out. All these women and men that are students there at this very prestigious university. And what happens is that Matt Damon goes up to it and he looks at it and he writes down the answer, almost just like that. And the next day, the professor comes in and he comes to class and he has a huge class. Okay, it's all tiered seating, like a theater. And he goes, "Okay, who's the one that did it? Did you do it, George?" And the smartest kid in the class, and he goes, "No, I didn't even get near it." And he goes, "Did you do it?" "No." "Well, then who did it?" "Nobody." He goes, "Are you sure nobody did it? You're not being extra humble." He goes, "No, no, sir, no." So that goes on and goes on. Finally, he catches the guy one day. He goes, "Wait, come here, come here." And the kid runs, Matt Damon. Finally, he gets to make a story short, he finds out that Matt Damon beat up on somebody and he's in jail now. This young kid that's a genius. So he goes there and he convinces the judge to let him out under his care. And if anything were to happen, then he would be responsible. This professor, because he sees the genius in this guy. So anyway, but the judge says he has to go for counseling. So he goes. I love it because it shows the different types of counseling. Where the guy's talking about your feelings and all that stuff. The feeling type of a counselor, and he makes fun of him, and so he throws him out. And then he goes to another one that's making him do all this weird stuff, and he throws him out. And then he goes to another one that makes him like, hate things that are that type, and he has, "You're an idiot," and he walks out on this guy. And then he goes to another counselor, and it's Robin Williams, and he's more of a holistic type of counselor, and he does an excellent job. I mean, Robin Williams was an excellent actor, and he could play comedy and tragedy and anything in between. He could make a cartoon character like the genie in Aladdin come to life. In fact, you know how he did that part? No script. They just said, "Hey, whatever you want," and they just let him go, and they made the scenes appropriate to the way he was dealing with reality with his words. So it was very nice. So anyway, here he's very serious. There's no joking, no fooling around. He threw in a little bit of a joke, especially in this scene when he's talking about, Vanna White, the one she asked, "Well, what do you want, this one or this one?" Or she puts the numbers up, in that game show, your choice. And then she puts in, and just a little joke he threw in there. But the reason why I chose this scene from Good Will Hunting is because he cries. How do you do tears? Or how do you make your voice cry? How do you convince people that you're crying? Now, I believe, now there's a lot of ways. For instance, there's a little, like let me see what you call them, a Tootsie Roll, those little things with a hole in the middle, look like little donuts. They make these for actors. Okay, this is just one way of doing it. There's a lot of ways to make people cry. And what you do is just before you go on stage, they blow. So you have to get somebody else to blow through the little circle, the little hole in this little Tootsie, not a Tootsie Roll, a lifesaver. Sorry, a lifesaver. And what they do is, yeah, he is one of my favorite actors, Mari and Rebecca, and yeah, and Jaime, hi, my nephew. And so they blow through the little um, lifesaver looking object, and it shoots type of little into your eyes, like a little fog, and it makes you cry. But it doesn't do it right away. So you can run in there and go, "Well, you know what?" And go, oh, and they start crying. Okay. You can also do what Meryl Streep does and Laurence Olivier, the ultimate actors, okay, in our you know contemporary world. Well, one of them's already gone, Laurence Olivier, but what they used to do is just open their eyes real wide for a long time before they went in. Doesn't work for me. Then there's another way of doing it. You get an ointment, I forget what you call it, or just put it real close to your eyelid, but don't get it in your eye, because it'll burn forever. You won't be able to act. just a little bit, and you smear it underneath your eye, and you start crying. Okay, almost immediately. So you know how some actors go like this. Well, that's what they're doing. They're rubbing a little bit of that stuff on their eyelid, not below their eye, not on the eyelid. Okay, so I'm going to do a scene from Good Will Hunting. This is the scene when Sean, who's the counselor, uh, well, it's like Vicks, Marty, but it's not. It's a little stronger than that. I forget what they call them. It's a type of a plant. It's made from stuff that they make Vicks with too, but it's a little more potent in the sense that it will sting your eye without having to put it on the eye itself, and it'll draw tears. Okay, thank you. Okay, so Sean is the counselor, and Will is the young man, and you have to see the rest of the movie. You can't really get into it, but I'll try to get you into it. And he's gone through a lot. He's been beat up by his father, this young man, but now Sean, the counselor, is going to reveal to him what happened in his life too. Now I took out all the naughty words out, so you can have kids come in and watch it if you like, or our kids there, they can watch it. And it's very difficult for me to do both characters, but you'll see that which character is which, okay? Because I'll start crying. And what I do is I teach the kids to use their voice for tears because yeah, you can see tears coming out of your eyes if the lighting is in the correct angle, but usually you're far away from the stage, so the audience is far away from the stage, so they don't really see. You have to really give them the idea that you're crying, okay? And that's what I teach the kids, and I don't teach them it. I say, look, you use your method of crying. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't, then we'll try something else and try something else until we get there. I remember doing a scene from, well, a scene. I got my master's in theater production with the production of Raisin in the Sun with a whole black cast from Salesian High School up here in Richmond, California. And they were excellent. My actress who played the mom, she got an award at the festival in I don't remember the name, L something or other. It's a college town in east of LA, not East LA, east of Laverne, the College of Laverne. They have a huge contest. All the schools in LA go to that tournament, drama tournament, and we came from Richmond. We went all the way down there from Richmond to LA, and we stayed with friends, and it was really nice. And she won Best Actress. And my mentor at Washington State, Washington Central University, where I got my master's, he said, "No, you can't do it. It's too difficult." I said, "Well, let me try." It was one of my favorite plays. So we did the scenes, and it turned out really, really well. It wasn't me. Those actors were even the when they came down from Washington to California to see the play. My mentor and he, not they, and he just said, "Oh, it was amazing, really." Teenage kids. They were all seniors, though, mainly, I think. Yeah, there was one sophomore. I mean, one junior. But it's a scene when she realizes that her son has dwindled away uh, $10,000. And in those days, in the 1940s, it was a lot of money. And so she says, "You mean you let all of that money, you lent it to that man, and it's gone? It's gone." I remember that. It was really cool. And then she goes, "You little," and she starts smashing him. Well, this girl, this young lady was very, very mild, and she had this beautiful voice. "Oh, Henry, I just love you. Thank you so much for all you do," and all this stuff. And then I told her, "You have to know, you have to really break right now. You're going to break your character, and you're going to really get angry." Well, it wasn't until the dress rehearsal when she did it. And I was going, "Oh, please, Jesus, give it to her now." And then she starts, "And you got it." I'm going, "Whoa." And that was it. It's just the idea of getting somebody to get to that point where they feel free, they feel like they've got it and they are going to do it. Then they get to that point, and then you just know that things are going to happen. I think it's such a strange little thing that we do, huh? Okay, so this is the scene. It begins with the counselor and Will. I'll try to change my voice a little bit, but I can't do it. I can't be Robin Williams and Matt Damon, exactly. Okay, but you'll see it. You'll see it develop. Okay, here we go. A deep breath. When you're acting, don't. A lot of people go, I have to get all excited. No, 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 no. Relax until your time comes, then just give it all you got. Reserve your powers for the stage. Because some people go, oh, I have to get all excited. I have to really get into the mood. No, relax. And that's what Laurence Olivier does. He's the best actor, the best English actor, and in some cases, one of the best American actors, English American actors. And so he, we saw a clip from him doing King Lear, because that King Lear is done only by very seasoned Shakespearean actors. Nobody can do that part unless they've been through everything that you have to go through to be a Shakespearean actor in many, many plays before you can even take on the role of King Lear. It's the ultimate role for Shakespearean actors, men of age. And what he did was he was just sitting there like a little old man. He was like, what, 70 or 80 years old? And he was just sitting in the chair like this, like he couldn't move, just resting. As soon as he got to the point where the lights were on him, I say, my daughter has abandoned, and stuff like that. I'm going, whoa, that's what we do. And I try to teach my actor kids that. Okay, here we go. This is Sean, the counselor. Okay. And remember that he's already counseled him for months. And at one point, he even says, okay, I'm finished. And he goes, what? You can't let me out of here. And that's the way he worked. He worked the man and he let him talk. That's the best. And he listened. The other guys, the other counselors that he threw out of his life were always blah, 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 talking. And he just, this is not from, this guy listened and was compassionate and was loving. And this is the last day that this young man is going to go. And the report that this counselor gives him will mean that he will either serve his time in prison or be allowed to be free and continue his life. Remember, he just made a mistake. He beat up on some kids, and it was a big fight, and he got caught. That was the idea. And he's been going through a lot. His stepfather beat him up. So it's all in the folder. That's what he's talking about. All his whole life is in a folder, and the response to the judge is in there too, his response. And he already got to kind of to the point where he's never cried before, and that's what he needs to do. And he needs to know that what happened in his life, that his father used to beat him, was not his fault. Because kids, when they suffer something when they're young, they always think it's their fault. Why are they hitting me when I didn't do anything? Because it's your fault. Why did my mommy and my daddy divorce? Because you did something that made them become apart from each other. It's always that poor kids that go through these things and things are not explained to them. Like Don Bosco says, if you want kids to really obey you and be part of your family, a good family side, then explain things to them, reason things out. That's one of our system's main theme. It's religion, reason, and kindness. They'll win them over. You don't have to be gooey gooey and all that stuff, and you don't have to be their. I want to be their friends, not their dad or mom. They don't need friends. They need dad and mom. They need guidance. Although you can say, yeah, they're my friends too. Okay, so this is Sean, the counselor. A lot of that stuff goes back a long way between me and him, and him is his math teacher who just left them and they were arguing. Okay. And so he says, a lot of that stuff they just argued with that guy and he left, closed the door, banging it, goes back a long way between me and him. You know, it's not about you. What is that? This is your file. I have to send it back to the judge for evaluation. Hey, you're not going to fail me, are you? What's it say? Want to read it? Why? Have you had any experience with that? 20 years of counseling. Yeah, I've seen some pretty awful crud. I mean, have you had any experience with that personally? Yeah, yeah, I have. It sure ain't good. My father was an alcoholic, a mean, ugly drunk. He'd come home hammered, looking to wail on somebody, so I had to provoke him so he wouldn't go after my mother and my little brother. Interesting nights were when he wore his rings. Yeah, he used to just put a wrench, a stick, and a belt on the table and just say, choose. Well, I gotta go with the belt there, Vanna. Yeah, well, I used to go with the wrench. Why the wrench? Because that's why. Your foster father? Yeah, so you know what it's like. Like Will has an attachment disorder. It's all that stuff, fear of abandonment. Is that why is that why I broke up with Skylar? That's his girlfriend. Okay, and he really loved her, but he broke up with her. Okay. I didn't know you had. Yeah, I did. You want to talk about it? No. Hey, Will, I don't know a lot. But you see this? He holds up the folder. All this is junk. It's not your fault. Yeah, I know that. Look at me, son. It's not your fault. I know. It's not your fault. I know. No, you don't. It's not your fault. I know. It's not your fault. All right. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Don't mess with me. It's not your fault. He embraces him. Don't mess with me, all right? Don't mess with me. Shut, not you. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm so sorry. Screw them, okay? Curtain. Okay. Well, did you like that or did you not like it? Was it okay? Did I convince you? No, I probably didn't. But that's what you do. You try to change your voice. And hi, Ophelia. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Mark. You try to change your voice. That's what really. You don't have to tear up and all that. You just have to change your voice and project and be real as best as you can. And you don't even have to have gone through that experience. That's what's interesting. But it's good that you go over and you if you were to do Stanislavski method, be a method actor, you'd have to go for counseling with the real counselor. That's what he believed. If you had to play a boxer, go and box. See what it's like, method acting. Some of the better actors, I would say, are follow at least some part of what we call method acting, like De Niro, uh, Meryl Streep, not so much. She went to NYU. Who else? Pacino. A lot of those actors went to that school, Stanislavski. Okay. Well, anyway, I just thought you'd like it. Um, so we'll continue. After that, you really feel you have to tone down a little bit, little by little. You have to cool off because it really, if you get into it, yeah, you're an actor. You get into things like that. It's tough. Okay, now we've already taken um, the section of St. Paul from this beautiful letter to us, Amoris Laetitia, of love, happiness, the happiness of love, the joy of love. And it's on the love in the family. And in marriage, it's a sine qua non. That means it has to be there, or else it's not a marriage. Okay. Now, we skipped a lot of pages from the beginning of this book, because then I felt, well, okay, there's a lot of explanation there. I can summarize that for you later on. But this is important for me, and it's talking about daily love, okay? And it brought in the lyrical passage of St. Paul, um, 1 Corinthians 13, um, um, where he says, even if I have faith so as to remove mountains, but I have not love, I am nothing. If I give all I have and I deliver my body to be burned, but have not love, I gain nothing. So the word love is so commonly used and really abused. It's often misused a lot, you know. Oh, I love you. I'll love you, do anything. And then, but come with me and we'll go to, no, that's not really love. Unless there's a commitment going along with that. Otherwise, it's not love. Poor kids that are getting to all this little messes. And they're so young, 11 now, 11 years old, 9 years old. They're still, it's amazing. Even if they're just going through emotion, they just they can't doom it, but they're going through emotions now, even kids being influenced by the media, by film, etc. Okay. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Mary. Love is patient. This is St. Paul. Love is kind. Love is not jealous. We went through these already. If you haven't, if you weren't here, then buy this book. I mean, it's really good. You can get it anywhere. In Amazon, this is where I got mine. Okay. Then we went to love is not arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrong, but rejoices in the right. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. So we've gone through patience. Patience so that you don't become a battleground, a battlefield. I've gone through, I've gone to some homes where you need to wear a helmet. Put your helmet on. Love is the service of all. Some people have the time and they just don't like to do good deeds. Love is not jealous. Come on, let people have their own way to success. You have your way to success. Don't bother about their way to success. Leave them alone. Don't get jealous. You have your own gifts. Oh, but I don't have as many as well. God gives and God takes away if you don't use them. Okay, then went through God is love is not boastful. We went through that, and it's the idea of real love. These are negatives to be avoided. Okay, still. Now, love is not rude. We're going to take that today. Okay, what time is it? Oh, Lordy, time flies. To love is also to be gentle and thoughtful, and this is conveyed by the next word, askemone. The CH is like a K in Greek, so it's like Christ, CH, okay? It's called a key, and it looks like an X. Okay, so remember the things that you see like a P, like this. I'm gonna do it backwards for you. Okay, and then there's an X, and the P's right here with the X, and it's a P. You see a lot in church. So you have the P and the X. It doesn't mean pox. It doesn't mean peace. People think that that's what it means. The A is missing because in Hebrew they didn't write the vowels, which is amazing. Then later on they pointed them. You have little points like three little points or two little points or a line, etc. And those were the vowels. But it's amazing, huh? But no, this is Greek, so the vowels are in there. Okay, it's the first two letters of the word Christ, an X and an R. The R is the row. R, R. It almost looks like ours without the little thing on there. Um, uh, so, unfortunately, you can't get the sound. So they made the X, which was K, they made it into CH, like Christ. So it's CH, one letter, and then the R, the first two letters of the name of Jesus. Nice. Okay, so this is a CH here. Askemonei. Okay, askemonei. Okay, that's a Greek word. It indicates that love is not askemonei, is not rude, okay, or impolite. It is not harsh, rough, heavy. Okay. Its actions, words, and gestures are pleasing and not abrasive or rigid. They don't rub you the wrong way, like getting that, what do you call that stuff that you scrape pots with, and it's all metallic and they're little pieces of. Well, that's what it means. Don't scrape somebody and make them sad. Love abhors or hates making others suffer. Okay, hi Darla, hi Tony. We're going through what does not make love. Love is not rude. We've already gone through a lot of these, what it's not, and right now we're on love is not rude. It indicates that love is not rude or impolite, it's not harsh. Its actions, words of love, and gestures of love are pleasing and not abrasive or rigid. Love abhors making others suffer. If you're planning on making somebody's life rough, you're not a lover. I'm sorry. Nope, 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 and nope. Okay. Courtesy is a school of sensitivity and disinterestedness. Disinterestedness. Who cares what people think? Okay. Which requires a person to develop his or her mind and feelings, learning how to listen, to speak, and at certain times to keep quiet. Sometimes we don't do this. The person's going to talk and, oh, yeah, well, the other thing, and then the person's going to talk to you again. Oh, but what I think is that you should, and the person's going to try to talk. Well, after a while, the person's going to keep quiet, not because he doesn't want to be rude, but because he just want to, you're not letting him talk or her. It is not something that a Christian may accept or reject. It is not something that a Christian may accept or reject. Okay. As an essential requirement of love, every human being is bound to live agreeable with those around him. You want to be a Christian? Then you be agreeable with people that are around you, even though they might not be agreeable with you. Hi, Luis. Every day entering into the life of another, even when that person already has a part to play in our life, demands a sensitivity and restraint which can renew trust and respect. Indeed, the deeper love is, the more it calls for respect for the other's freedom and the ability to wait until the other opens the door to his or her heart. It's amazing, huh? The deeper love is, the more it calls for respect for others' freedom, for the other person's freedom, if you want to say it that way, and the ability to wait until the other opens the door to his or her heart. To be open to a genuine encounter with others, a kind look is essential. It has to be there. If it's not there, it's not what we would call love, especially in a Christian sense. This is incompatible. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit with a negative attitude that readily points out others' shortcomings while overlooking one's own. Jesus said that. Why are you looking at somebody else's little teensy wincy splinter that you can't even see it when you have a telephone pole stuck to your eye? That's what he really meant when he said the big pole in your eye. Can you imagine you're looking for something bad in the other person, or looking at something that the other person is not really doing a good job on, and you're doing the same thing but with a bigger splinter looking like a telephone pole. A kind look helps us to see beyond our own limitations, to be patient, there's that word again, and to cooperate with others despite our differences. That doesn't mean we have to let go of the different ways that we look at things. Loving kindness builds bonds, cultivates relationships, creates new networks of integration, and knits a firm social fabric. In this way, it grows ever stronger, for without a sense of belonging, we cannot sustain a commitment to others. If you don't feel you belong with somebody, then it's not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen in your relationship. You're just going to go hi and goodbye, and that's it. And it could have developed into something very good for you and for that person. But if it's something bad, well, of course, no, goodbye. We end up by seeking our convenience alone, and life in common becomes impossible. Antisocial persons think that others exist only for the satisfaction of their own needs. Consequently, there is no room for the gentleness of love in its expression. Those who love are capable of speaking words of comfort, strength, consolation, and encouragement. These were the words that Jesus himself spoke. Take heart, my son, in Matthew. Great is your faith, again in Matthew 15. And arise in Mark, and go in peace in Luke, and do not be afraid in Matthew. These are not words that demean, sadden, anger, or show scorn. We look down on somebody as if they were nothing. In our families, we must learn to imitate Jesus' own gentleness in the way of speaking to another. It seems so simple, these little things that St. Paul put down as what are the essentials of love, but they're not that easy to carry out. But we have to. As Christians, we have to love. There's no other way to relate to other people if we're Catholic Christians than to love. It's a commandment. It's not just if you want to, you should. You have to, but you should. Okay? So practice that today. Practice these virtues that we talk about every day. Even a little way, just be kinder to the people around you. Uh, Pick up a dish that you would never pick up when somebody's finished eating in your house. Pick up something off the floor. A smile at somebody. Tell somebody that you did something and sorry about that, and smile. It's difficult, but you know what? You'll feel better, and it's for your benefit. Well, have a nice day. Is that Tony Rodarte? Is that Tony Rodarte from a long time ago? Our close little friend with my mommy, and their mommy were like really close. My mom was very good at making relationships, and I'm not that hot on relationships. So if I've been mean to you, forgive us our sins. Notice I use the papal we. Forgive me. Okay, well, have a nice day. Ooh, we went over time. Sorry. And I'm going to go and get some rest. My operation was totally successful. I felt nothing after the operation. I feel nothing badly now. And so thank you for your prayers, and I'll be praying for all of you. Bye bye. May Almighty God bless you, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. See you tomorrow.